Hi, I'm Spencer Harte, and this is Heart to Heart. I'm so excited to introduce you to my first ever guest, a very special guest, voice actor Andrew Russell.
Yeah! Woohoo! The crowd goes wild.
Welcome to Heart, Andrew.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you.
Andrew is an incredible voice actor. He voices the blue hair, guitar playing superhero Luca Convent on the hit TV show Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Yeah! Luke is the best. He's my favorite character. Hey, there you go. You got the shirt on. Way to go. I didn't prepare. Wait, no, I do have this hat. Look at this hat. It's a miraculous ladybug culture fly hat, but I have headphones on so I can't wear it. It'll mess up my hair.
Yeah,
That's okay. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it, Spencer.
no problemo. I'm
Hey,
excited to have you.
I'm super. Oh, speaking of, wait. First of all, everybody should know that Spencer has been a really awesome person in my life thus far, and made me this awesome pin. I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is. It's a little Luca pin. Wait, hold on. It'll clear up there. It's a little Luca pin. You see that? And I keep this pin close to my side, right over here. I have a little Luca shrine with little trinkets that people have given me over the years of my favorite things, and that's one of them, and I keep it close by.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
If you haven't seen the show, if you haven't seen the show yet, you're really missing out. It got everything: a love square, superheroes, villains, music, a lot of emotional highs and lows. It really got all. Can you tell a little bit about the show and character that you
A
play?
absolutely. So, Miraculous Ladybug is an amazing show that has brought so much life and joy to so many people around the world. It follows the adventure of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and the character that I play, his name is Luca Cofain, and he is actually, he's also holds a miraculous called Viperian, and basically what happens in this show is you see Marinette and you see Cat Noir or Adrian go through all their adventures, and they have a bunch of friends and sidekicks and all kinds of people. And Luca is one of those people. He's one of the close friends of both Marinette and Adrian. And I've been in the show for 4 years now. It's been pretty great.
Wow. And where can people watch the show?
They can watch it all over the place, really. They can watch it on YouTube, on Netflix. I'm sure it's on Disney somewhere floating around. They can find it all over the internet. Just take a look and search around on your favorite uh, way to consume videos and media.
Season 4 had ended. It should with such a cliffhanger. Are you
I
working
know.
on it now? Are you
Am
working
I
on
work?
season 5?
Oh, I am working on season 5, and it's. I gotta tell you, I was blown away by what they did at the end of season 4. It was really, really cool, and there was a lot of like mystery and things happening around what happens with my character Luca and what he knows and what other people don't know without giving anything away, and really I'm looking forward to seeing in season 5 if we develop that at all and like what happens next, because there's so much potential of what's going to happen. I am so excited to share with you guys.
Can you give us a little teaser what's gonna happen?
Maybe this is for the hardcore Miraculous Ladybug fans. Maybe the cucumber will remake an appearance.
Woo! I love the
I'm a cucumber.
cucumber.
Hey, you nailed that. That was a great impression.
I know you're in a game called Genshin Impact. It's a really popular video game right now. I'm playing it too. Are you working on anything else right now?
That's awesome. Yes, I am. I actually have a session today and on Monday for a really popular game. I can't tell you what it is because I've signed what we call NDAs, a non-disclosure agreement, where I can't really talk about it until it comes out. So this is a really exciting game that I'm going to be sharing with you. But I will tell you, it's kind of like in the world of like Genshin Impact. I loved working on Genshin Impact. I actually played a bunch of characters over a variety of different sessions for that game. You can find me all throughout the world. I actually got to voice the character. His name is Yosurf, which is this little boy's lost dad, and it was really funny because I stream games on Twitch sometimes, and when I first started playing Genshin Impact, I found the little boy in the game, and I didn't know that I was going to play his dad. And I started going on an adventure, and in this adventure, you find these journals, right? And these journals, like, they have stories, and the dad's like telling, like, "Oh man, I'm climbing up the mountain, and I hope that I make it okay. I love my family," stuff like that. On my Twitch stream, I was just playing around, reading the lines as if I was his dad, who at the time wasn't in the game. And then when I got cast into the game, I went into the session, and the casting director and the director said, "You're gonna be playing Yosurf, who's the Lost Boy's dad." And I was like, "Did I will this into existence? What happened?" It was amazing. So I had a great time doing Genshin Impact. That was a lot of fun.
Do you like voicing animated shows or video games more?
That's a tough question because I really enjoy animation for a lot of the high energy, over the top, like really fun charactery sort of work. And then I love video games because they're much more grounded in a cinematic universe. So things like Genshin, or even this game that I made called Lost Ark, it's very cinematic in their storytelling, although the character is still really heightened and really like over the top dramatic sometimes. uh that character still lives in a very grounded place. So approaching it from an actor's perspective, it's much more challenging and much more exciting for me to play a video game character because I get to really dive into like the voice of a Umarian dwarf in the distant lands of Arcasia, or a goofy character, but I have to make them realistic, and that's a challenge. It's very difficult, but it's a lot of fun.
How do you become a voice actor? Do you always want to be a voice actor? Isn't it your dream?
Of course, yeah. I've always wanted to do voice work. When I was in 7th grade, actually, I started playing video games a lot, and something clicked like that in my brain once I was playing a game, and I heard the characters, and I said, "Those are people getting paid to be voice actors. Like, this is a career." And from that moment forward, I started looking at video games in the perspective of an actor's perspective. I started listening to the way that they're doing things and doing all that stuff. So all my years of doing theater and musical theater was all leading me to try to learn and hone in on my craft and get to the point where I could be a voice actor. And that's where I am now. And I love it. And I think anybody who wants to do it, what they have to do is just start working on things now, start practicing now. And there's no time like the present. There's no better time to look on YouTube. There's all kinds of resources on TikTok and all that stuff. As long as you're really hyper focusing and looking for the content that you want to be looking for, you can learn how to do anything right now. So I say go for it.
Now we're gonna play a little game called This or That. It helps our audience to get to know you better. I shout out two things, and you can pick one you'd like the best. Okay?
Great.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs. 100%.
High tops or low top shoes?
Low tops.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for being my guest today, Andrew. I think you are really awesome and super talented, and it was an honor to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Spencer. It's really, really, the pleasure is mine. I'm so happy you asked me to be here.
No problemo. I love you. Mwah.
Hi, my name is Chris Tenney. I am an actor and stand-up comic. I've been in dozens of commercials, a few films, and I've performed at a few comedy clubs in Southern California. Oh, and I am also autistic. Now, I love going to professional car shows because, in addition to seeing all the new models before they hit the showroom floor, there's also the concept cars you don't get to see anywhere else. And those are some real nice ones. But I also like going to the amateur ones where they bring their pristine classics or their rat rods or even sometimes their scratch-built customs. But either way, I get to see under their hoods, talk to some of the owners, and I'd like to take you on a little tour of some footage I shot the last time I was there. Okay, here's the first car and one of our regulars, a 1972 Datsun 240Z with a small block Chevy V8 in it. In addition to that, it's also got a little spoiler and funny little stickers like V8 inside or Hybrid 240Z, burns gasoline and rubber. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and it's also got a nice little roll cage. And here we have a Corvette. Not much to say about it. This one looks pretty stock, except for maybe the paint job. So we'll move on to the Trans Am next to it. Not much to say about that one, admittedly, but it's also got a very nice interior, and is also one of our regulars. Looks to be a 79 model, I think. Yeah, definitely a 79. And, let's see, Kathy's may or may not be a Dodgers fan, but either way, definitely a nice car. Possibly custom interior, too. And of course, there's some funny little fuzzy dice there. Can't have a classic car without fuzzy dice. And next to that, we have a Ford Fairlane, Crown Victoria. Looks to be a resto mod, judging by the wheels and the steering wheel. So, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. Good old chrome and two-tone paint. Hard to go wrong with that look. Probably a 56 model, actually. Definitely 56. Oh, and of course we have one of those old Ford two-door sedans. Another resto mod by the looks of it. And there are these little side windows with some very tasteful etchings on them. Little flowers. I think those were aftermarket options in those days. Probably got them now. Still a gorgeous car regardless. And here we have a Mitsubishi Eclipse convertible. Not much to say about that. But the MG next to it, that's a beauty. And it may or may not be imported, which is weird because of and the National Rambler wagon. That's always nice. And of course there's another Crown Vic. Can't tell if it's a rat rod or if it's just a restoration in progress, though. Then we got to speak with the owner. But next to that, we have a very nice Malibu Super Sport convertible. Nice black color, white interior, or cream, I think. But yeah, definitely gorgeous. And of course, there's where I tried to film on the side, so sorry about that. On to the car next to it, we have a Studebaker. Probably a Hawk of some kind, but the hood is kind of throwing me off, so it might be something different entirely. Maybe a different year. I don't know. Definitely a Studebaker, though. I know that. And speaking of Studebaker, we have an Avanti next to it. Avantis were, there's a whole thing about them, but this model was built on a 2005 Ford Mustang chassis. And unfortunately, the company would go into bankruptcy a year later, just like its parent company, Studebaker. Shame, really. Beautiful cars. Oh, and here we have a 1957 Chevrolet Nomad. A station wagon version of the venerable 1957 Bel Air sedan and coupe, and convertible. I don't think many of the Nomads were made in comparison to the Bel Air. Can't remember. I'll have to look it up later. But either way, it looks mostly stock, save for the wheels and steering wheel. I think the engine might be stock too, but heavily modded. Oh, look, there's an aftermarket tachometer. Neat. And of course, fuzzy dice, because, as I mentioned earlier, can't have a classic without fuzzy dice. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a clean engine bay, regardless. Oh, and another Nomad. This looks to be a panel wagon version. I'm like, but, yeah, definitely a panel wagon version. Guy's probably a rod, drag racer. Oh, and of course, there's some really nice zoomies coming out the bottom, near the back tires. Absolute beauty. Gorgeous cream color, too. Can't tell if the panel van's a custom thing or not, but whatevs. Oh, and of course, we have a nice hot rod. Real beauty. Nice black. I don't remember much, but I talked with the owner. Real nice guy. Works at the VA, served in Nam. Real fun guy from what I could tell. I can't tell if he built it, can't remember if he built it recently or not, but, oh, there's a very lovely current gen Challenger. It's got that really nice Hellcat logo on the rear quarter. Oh, and of course there's a 1974 AMC AMX Javelin. Or was it AMC AMX Javelin? Either way, this thing still looks as stock as the day it rolled off the assembly line. So yeah, credit where it's due for the owner managing that. And of course it's a real nice car in its own right. And of course next to that, we have ourselves. Oh wow, that was a nice interior. Yeah. And of course, next to that, we have what looks to be a Restomod Camaro. Or at least I'm assuming it's Restomod, judging by the modern wheels and brake pads. But yeah, actually I'm pretty sure that's a Restomod. Real beauty. I can't tell what that shade of blue is though, but I like it.
What does that mean, Restomod?
Oh, Restomod is basically where you restore a car with a number of modern components. New brakes. Oh, and here we have here we have a Mustang Fastback. Most likely a regular Mustang, but it could be a GT350. But definitely a beauty either way. Got that nice bullet green, but it's not exactly the bullet Mustang. Not the right wheels. And it's got the Shelby stripes on it. Real beauty. Oh, and speaking of Shelby, it's got one or two stickers regarding him. Carroll Shelby.
And when you say bullet Mustang, what do you mean?
Oh, the Mustang from the movie Bullet. That certain green. Oh, there's a T-bucket hot rod. T-buckets are basically built from Model Ts. They're whole replicas now. And I'm pretty sure that's like a replica, considering they ever made the Model T in 80, 90, maybe even 100 years? But it's always possible that might have been passed down through the family, but I'm willing to bet it's most likely a replica. Oh, and of course, here we have a 1957 Ford Thunderbird. Pretty much everything is stock. Not a single ounce of new stuff except for the interior, but even then, that's that's a factory color, at least according to the owner. I got to talk with him. He managed to do a good job with this one. Even the vintage radio and radio antenna works, which is pretty much awesome in itself, because I don't think that is easy at all. And that's the end of that particular tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing cars old and new, and I hope I sparked an interest for you. Here's to hope, and I'll see you at the next show.
A lot of times girls and women on the spectrum hear this. That's, an area that I work in as well. And oftentimes, oh, you can't have autism, you're a girl. And again, that is just out of the diagnostic ratio of 4-to-1, with more boys than girls being diagnosed.
Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Kerry Magro, professional speaker and author. I have autism and also have dysgraphia, and this is Stories from the Spectrum, and I am here with a very, very special guest. She's also a dear friend. Her name is Amy Graffino. And Amy, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself as we're kicking off today?
Sure, Kerry. Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Gravino, as Kerry said, and I am a relationship coach in the Rutgers Center for Adult Autism Services and an autism sexuality advocate and professional public speaker.
What are some things, and maybe like if you could give me like 4 or 5 things that you shouldn't say to somebody who's on the autism spectrum based on your experiences?
Sure. So, there's been so many things that have been said to me over the years that I wish people would not say, and things I hear people say to autistic individuals, whether it's their child or their student, that, people oftentimes have their hearts in the right places, but their mouths are in the wrong places. And a lot of it, I think, ties into the expectations that we have or don't have for people on the spectrum. So, saying to someone, oh, you're so smart, I would never know that you had autism until you said something. That's something that's been said to me, and that's not helpful, because I'm harder on myself than anybody, of course, but it makes me feel like I should be able to do things that either I can't necessarily do or that I need to learn how to do, and then I feel frustrated that I can't do those things, and then I feel afraid I'm going to let everybody down. Also, you're autistic, you're not capable of empathy. And that's something that was written about me as a child. It was written by a mental health professional, saying, Amy does not understand empathy, and has no sense of humor. And I was 9 years old when these things were written about me. I was 9. I was a child, and this person decided this about me. And I think that just speaks to a general theme of not making, proclamations at all about autistic people, because we tend to have this, preconceived idea that when somebody's diagnosed, if they're a child, for example, that's where they're always going to be, that autistic people can't grow and change. And that's not true. It's simply not true. So, and for many mental health professionals, they are informing parents' perceptions of their children. So you have to be very careful about saying these things, not just to an autistic child, but to their parents, to, anybody who is going to be shaped and informed by what you write. The team at the school that works with the child, the paraprofessionals and the speech pathologists and whoever else. You have to just be so careful. And again, I think that just speaks to an overarching theme. I see this with lots of adults talking about autistic people when they're in the room, as if they can't hear them. As
Or
if
in
they
the
can't
room. Yeah.
Or exactly.
Well,
And
the whole idea about empathy, it's just some of the kids I work with and some of the adults who are close friends with me all on the spectrum are some of the most empathetic people I've ever met. So being able to be mindful of that, I think is really, really important. So Amy, so obviously you have a wide range of expertise in the world of autism. For parents, educators, and just our general society, what would be some books, some films maybe, that you would recommend to people to learn a little bit more about autism?
Sure. So, when I think about, autism in any kind of media representation, I think, with films and TV, that there isn't any one movie or TV show that's really nailed it yet in terms of representing autism. We are starting to see a shift, I think, a little bit in some depictions. We have, as Kerry can tell you, Love on the Spectrum is coming out, the US version. It was originally in Australia. And what I like about that is that it is showing autistic people as they authentically are. This is, we know that there is an element of scripting to some reality TV shows, but autistic people are genuine people, I think, by and large. And so we're getting something that's very refreshing, and that is people representing themselves and being, who they are, barring any editing, shenanigans. But
like The Bachelor.
in terms of fictional, yeah, exactly. But in terms of fictional depictions, I don't think I've yet seen one that like totally nails it. There was that show Everything Is Going to Be All Right. I heard a lot of, right? Is that the one? I heard a lot of good things about that.
Yeah, Everything's Going to Be Okay on the Freeform.
Everything's Going to Be Okay. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah, that got canceled, I heard. So I heard positive things about that. But you know, in the books, there's a lot of books that are written by people on the spectrum, which is like a really great thing. I think, you know, there's so many books you can read about autism, but you get something really different and really raw and authentic when you read books that are written by autistic people. Again, Holiday Wiley's Pretending to Be Normal is a seminal book. It's absolutely outstanding. Temple Grandin, Thinking in Pictures, was one of the first, I think, that came out written by folks on the spectrum. And it is, you know, again, she is a product of her time, Temple, and the world has changed, you know, since that came out, certainly. But
Sure.
and then of course, Kerry, you've put out books that, you know, I know have been really helpful to a lot of people. And I myself am, you know, currently authoring a book.
Yeah, no, I was
called The Naughty Audie.
Yeah, The Naughty Audie.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to read that book whenever it does come out, because it's, you know, I often talk about relationships, but what I think you've hit the nail on the head on, which a lot of experts really just don't even want to talk about, is sexuality. And I think you've kind of championed that cause within our autism community. So I'm really excited to hear what you think about that topic specifically. Some great recommendations. Temple Grandin's Thinking in Pictures was kind of one of the first ones I also read when I was 19 and trying to disclose to more people about my autism diagnosis. So obviously we have the Temple Grandins of the world that we can follow. Who are some other autism advocates that you currently follow in the community who either inspire, educate, just all of the above, really?
Well, there's a lot of amazing advocates out there, both who are on and off the spectrum. And of course, immediately one that comes to mind is my dear friend, Dr. Peter Gerhardt, who is an amazing man. He is not autistic, but he has been working with autistic adults for over 30 years. And he is like the authority, as far as I'm concerned, on adults on the spectrum. And he's a passionate advocate. And he has, most importantly to me, the reason why I mention him is that he doesn't just work with autistic adults. He is friends with autistic adults. You know, he's not just seeing them as clients or patients or students. They're friends. They're, you know, so he sees us as human beings. And I think that's just so important. It sounds like a basic thing, but it's not. And he's one of my closest friends, consequently. Again, there's just so many amazing people out there. Denny Bowman, who's also in Love on the Spectrum. She's great. I mean, has her own animation company, and she's come so far in the years I've known her. Like, she's just grown up in front of me. She was a little baby, and now she's all like,
I know,
woman sized and everything.
It feels so weird because we gave her a scholarship when she was going to Woodbury, and now I'm just like, now she's on a show talking about being in relationships and talking to boys. And I'm like, I'm not ready. How can people learn more about you and your journey, and what would you like people to know about you?
Oh gosh, so I guess, you know, because when I give presentations mainly on autism and sexuality, that's kind of my dedicated special area of interest and research, but I present on other topics as well, you know, growing up on the spectrum, entering into adulthood with autism. And I always try to emphasize the fact that this is a journey, and that as far as I've come, I am still learning. I dislike the word expert very strongly for this reason, because to me, expert is a static word that confers with it an authority that cannot be challenged. So I like the word specialist more, because we're learning so much all the time about sexuality. We're learning so much all the time about autism. So I don't think any one person is a true expert in that authoritative, you know, sense. And so I don't have all the answers, and I want people to know that no one person does have all the answers. Right. And so that the most powerful thing that I can say to any client I work with or anything is, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but let's find out together. Right. That's what it's all about. It's about growing and learning together, and all of us being on a journey in this way.
I love that.
And to help those who are walking the path I was once on. So,
yeah. Well, it's also very humbling when you can say, like, I don't know all the answers, and you don't pretend to know all the answers, because I know many experts in the community who really think of themselves in that way. And
Oh, yeah.
it's not doing justice for the community. And we like to talk about autism and authenticity a lot. Let's just make sure that we're trying to do that.
Hi everyone, it's Stephen Gaiber, the Autistic Traveler, and today I'm going to give you a tour of downtown Orange to see the vintage like this is. Have a good time.
Orange Historical District is a one-square plaza and contains many of the historic buildings that were created in Orange's incorporation. Orange is a vibrant commercial district that contains the original bank and oldest operation soda fountain. This historic district was placed on the National Register of Historic Districts in 1997 and is the largest National Register historical district in California. The city of Orange was incorporated in April 6, 1888 during the city reform area of urban planning. Orange dates back to 1869 when lawyers Andrew Chapman and Alfred Glassell accepted the land from Rancho Santiago de Santa Ana as legal fees. In the summer of 1871, Captain William Glassell drove a survey and called it Richland. Following this event, the Old Town District was found in this plaza. This town was originally called Richland and was changed to Orange in 1873. When they applied for a post office in the town, but discovered there was a town called Richland in Northern California. Legend has it that this town was named after during a poker game, but it was really based on promotional value. Oranges and other semi-crops were found in this town, which is probably why it got the name Orange. And they also were considering splitting this part into a separate part of Orange County, into 2 counties.
Let me tell you why I'm visiting the antique shop so much, because it was my favorite highlight of the day. And I love seeing Robin Williams as the genie. You should buy that. Best looking Starbucks I ever saw. Wow, that architecture. And this architecture makes downtown Orange look amazing. Welcome to downtown Orange. One could take the Metrolink all the way from downtown Union Station in Los Angeles to Santa Fe Depot in San Diego. Much better than driving on the 5 freeway and spending gas money. Wow, those gas prices are expensive. Wow, look at these antique cars. They're very nice old looking cars.
Thank you for checking out the Orange Circle with me. I hope you had a good time.
Oh look, a mariachi band trying to make money.
Antique shops. Wow, this was better than I thought.